time to talk about Gyokeres. Now, I didn't know we were going to talk about Gyokeres again. I was like 80% sure we are going to get Sesko instead of Gyokeres. But Gyokeres is back in the picture, and it's already been confirmed by various journalists, including reporters from Portugal, that Arsenal is currently meeting with the Gyokeres. Now, what is happening with the Gyokeres deal? Gyokeres' agent is right now in a meeting with the Arsenal owners, so that is interesting. Gyokeres' agent is in England and is currently meeting with Arsenal, probably discussing all those things that we've talked about 2 minutes ago, what David Johnson has said. We are probably discussing all of that with Gyokeres. I still think Arsenal... There's people at Arsenal who like Gyokeres and prefer Gyokeres. Maybe Andre Bat is one of them, as we've been told. So it will be about convincing each other who's the best option. We've already been told that many of the board members want Sesko ahead of Gyokeres because he's young and they feel like he's going to fit better in the team. But there's still people who want Gyokeres, including the fans and all that. But I don't think they're going to go according to what the fans want. Talks have now entered a formal stage they weren't before. So previously, we were just, discussing with Gyokeres in his camp. Listen, is a deal possible? How much would you want? We are interested in him. Let's wait and see how it goes, and then we might be back for him. But now it's like we've talked formally with them, and we've said, okay, we want him. We are interested. Tell us the payment terms, what you guys would want, and all that. And now we are actually discussing it formally and meeting in person, and the agent is in England meeting. Now, as I said, he's not only going to be meeting with Arsenal, he's probably going to be meeting with Man United as well, because Man United have been mentioned as a possible destination for Gyokeres, although we were told they've sent intermediaries to meet up with the Gyokeres camp, not really directly to Man United. Gyokeres has always wanted to play for Arsenal, so that is what reports have said in Portugal. And I remember talking about that like 3-4 weeks ago, or maybe more than that, just before the transfer window opened. Gyokeres was asked that if he wants to play for Arsenal, and he said yes. And a week ago, Gyokeres was asked by his teammates on a podcast. He basically told him, text me as soon as you get to Arsenal. And Gyokeres did not say yes or no. He said, okay, I will do that. So Gyokeres has definitely talked to Arsenal before. Now, if you're not serious about him, obviously he's not going to join us. If you prefer Sesko, obviously he's not going to join us. If Man United or any other team are serious about him and he decides to go there, he's going to end up there. I would also not be surprised if he end up staying at Sporting, not at all. I'll not be surprised at all. But that is not the only updates we have about Gyokeres. Now, that was from, I'm sure it was Record de Portugal. That is what they had to say. Now, today, we have more updates from another Portuguese outlet. They say Arsenal have made their first formal proposal for Viktor Gyokeres. The Gunners are willing to pay a fixed amount below 60 million euros, which with bonuses for objectives would exceed 60 million euros. However, it is below Sporting valuation of 80 million. So in pounds, let's say 50 million pounds, and Sporting want around 70 million pounds. But again, that fee is going to change with the next update because we have a lot of updates on that figure. The Gunners are willing to pay a fixed amount below 60 million euros. So if the fee is below 60 million euros, Arsenal are willing to pay for him. But Sporting are not going to be happy with that. I don't think they should be happy with that anyway. I don't think Gyokeres should be a player who's supposed to be leaving for 60 million. If I was Sporting, I'd want like 100 million for him. Considering how much money these other strikers have gone for, Højlund, Nunes, and many, many others, even Felix from Benfica to Atletico Madrid, these players have gone for a lot of money. So for a player who Gyokeres has 100 plus goals in 2 seasons. 100 in 2 seasons. As I said, it doesn't matter whether he's done it in Portugal, in Bahrain, in Canada, in Bolivia, it doesn't matter. If you can score 100 goals in 2 seasons, you know where the net is. The net does not change in a different country. It does not. Things change. Defenders are different. I know. I know the style of play is different. I know the other teams defend better. Probably you get to face tougher opponents, tougher formations, tougher managers who are going to know how to mark you out of the game. I do know that. But first of all, in football might be very easy. You just need a striker who knows where the back of the net is, because you are going to get chances. It doesn't matter whether we are up against Van Dijk, whether we are up against Rudiger and Hausen at Real Madrid, you're going to get chances. We've seen a lot of Arsenal strikers who've played in that position getting chances, including Merino and Havertz and Trossard and Martinelli. We get chances. So we do get past the defenders. But how good are they at finishing those chances? Do they know where the net is? That is the question. So football can be as simple as that. So for 60 million, I don't think they should be accepting 60 million. Even if he's playing in Portugal, I think they should be trying to get at least 80 million. That is from a sporting point of view. But which with bonuses for objectives would exceed 60 million. So again, from the David Ornstein update earlier, we talked about, the finances, all the discussions that they'll have in terms of bonuses and structure of the payments and all that needs to be considered. But Bruno Andrade from this Portugal outlet has had that to say. Fabrizio himself has also given us an update on Gyokeres, and this is what he's had to say. There's tense situation between Viktor Gyokeres and Sporting, despite previous pact for exit worth around 65 million euros with add-ons. Sporting president insists on a higher fee. Price still under 100 million clause, but not 65 million now. Gyokeres described as furious. So could Gyokeres start pushing for a move? Could we see Gyokeres pushing for a move to join Arsenal? Is that what is happening right now? Again, I really would want to be in those meetings because we really don't know what is happening. Maybe Arsenal have gone for Sesko because they feel like Sporting are being too hard on Gyokeres. We don't know that. Maybe that was already clear to them 1 month ago, but we are getting this news right now. No one really knows. Or maybe we just really want Sesko more than Gyokeres, because again, if you really wanted Sesko ahead of Gyokeres, would you really be talking about Gyokeres right now? And would Gyokeres still have meetings with Arsenal? Or were they already deciding on Sesko and you've gone back to Gyokeres because you feel like Sesko will be too expensive? No one really knows. I'd like to be a wall in those meetings and negotiations just to know what exactly is happening. But basically, they want around 80 million, 85 million pounds there for Gyokeres' deal to get done. Now, Gyokeres is not happy because they told him next season, which is this season, you're going to be able to go for 60, 67 million pounds around there. And there was a gentleman's agreement. But in football, the team also has to take care of themselves. So they can't just follow the gentleman's agreement that they had, especially now when they had that gentleman's agreement. Gyokeres had not had this season that he's just had with 70 plus goal contributions. Of course, Sporting will try to change their mind. They'll be like, okay, wow, we decided on 60 million last summer, but this guy's gone on to get 70 plus goal contributions this season, more. He's helped us, trash Man City in the Champions League. He's been scoring hat tricks, different kinds of goals and all that. And now even more teams want him. No, we actually want 85 million pounds. So they can easily change their mind like that. And they've actually done that. So it's not going to be an easy deal to do. I also don't think the Sesko deal is going to be an easy one to do. But something good to know is Arsenal still want Gyokeres. And we've had a meeting with his agent, and Gyokeres is still being considered. So I said Sesko is 80%, Gyokeres is 20%, who I expect to join Arsenal. But maybe it's not that high. Maybe Arsenal still really want Gyokeres, and it might end up being Gyokeres ahead of Sesko. Let's just hope we get one of them. And let's just hope whoever we choose, it works out. So that's the latest on the Gyokeres situation. Very interesting. A lot of reports from Portugal and from Fabrizio as well, and a couple of other journalists.